If you're at dinner with a guy and the bill comes and he asks you to split it, what do you say?
I just walk out. No, listen. If you're a man that is taking a woman out on a dinner as a girlfriend, as a date, as a friend, you cannot split the bill with her.
Don't even let her offer.
اللي بتأثر تنورة ليه بتأثر تنورة تلحقها عيون الشباب.
Welcome. Episode 17 of Zbodcast with a very special guest. Someone I've been trying to get on Zbod for a long time.
Yes.
She's in Syria. She's away. She's where? She's doing a lot of things. Finally, I want to welcome with all my heart, Naya Ibrahim. Welcome to Zbodcast.
Thank you, Christo. It's a pleasure. Finally, we get to stay here over
Christo, by the
shisha.
way.
Christo.
You have to roll the R.
Christo.
Naya is a beautiful Syrian, born and raised in Syria. When did you arrive? When did you come?
2017.
2017.
March 2017, yes.
So we're talking 6 years only.
6 years, yeah, only.
Tell me about the sham. The Syria has a very big misconception, especially everything that went on in the world the last several years. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
People don't know Syria like I know Syria, and I've never been there. Just from the culture-wise, you've obviously
Yeah.
born and raised there.
Yeah.
I want to know about your childhood in Syria, right? And then we'll get to the reason that you're in Canada now. But tell me about Syria as a country and your life growing up in Syria. I mean, people see on the news war and political issues and distress and everything about the whole region. I'm Lebanese, you're Syrian. All people see is the bad. They don't know the good. They don't know how beautiful our countries are. نحن بلدين هذا أخوي سوريا ولبنان تحية سوريا وتحية لبنان.
Same country, same people, same culture.
Country, same people. But
Same
tell the
everything.
people from your perspective. I was born and raised in Canada. People sometimes think I was born and
Well,
raised in
you visit
Lebanon.
there, right?
I go
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
And, I love Lebanon like it's my own country. But
Yeah.
tell us about being born and raised in a country like Syria, especially during the time.
When the war was happening. Being in Syria, you're just kind of like separated from the rest of the world because there's only Syrians there. So I grew up only around Syrians, only around, the immediate family, school, very simple life, playing out in the streets. Everybody got along, all religions. Yeah, it was very simple. A lot of people, when they ask about how I grew up back there and how my life was, they're very shook about how simple it was and how humbling it was. I would spend my days in school back at the family house. We had a big family house. We had 30 rooms in the house. And, yeah, 30 rooms in the house. Some of them were rented. Some of them we had family. We had 4 families that lived in the same house. So grew up very family oriented. Yeah, I would spend my days church, school, family house. And yeah, it was just very simple. That's why it was a culture shock coming here, because it's completely different. The entire lifestyle, the people, the routine. You suddenly get exposed to so many cultures, so many
That's
people
Canada.
from different places, right? Yeah,
What would you say the biggest misconception about Syria is?
that it is always dangerous, that it's a desert. Syria has one of the most beautiful, stunning, like sightseeing places, nature, the sea, the Mediterranean Sea. I'm sure you can relate. Lebanon is beautiful. It is kind of the same country, so same nature. Yeah, it's beautiful. A lot of people, when you say like, oh, you should go visit Syria, they're like, oh, why would I go visit Syria?
Yeah.
I'm like, Syria is actually a very fun country. It's beautiful. You can find the desert, you can find the nature, you can find the nightlife, the historical sites. You get best of both worlds. It's just the media doesn't really show that.
Well, I don't want to go into too much politics, but Syria's kind of closed off from the world for
yes,
obvious
we've been very
reasons.
separated.
So
for
even like
everybody.
actually, when you go to Syria, you go through Lebanon.
Yes, I do. I can't
Right?
fly right into Syria, unfortunately, yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's tough for people to ask for tourism from a place that is not. Let's
Yeah.
just call it internationally
It's
accepted right now.
kind of opening up a little bit more now. There's a lot of like Europeans visiting. Like when I was there last year, there was a lot of like tourists, which was very
Humbling. It's humbling
yeah,
to see
it was
people come back to
also the people like Syria before the war has always been a very touristy spot because it's very old. So because I used to live in old Damascus, that's where my house is. We used to see tourists all the time walking around with cameras, tour guides. Like it was always very touristy. Grew up around tourists, but we stopped seeing that for 12 years, and now the people are getting that tourism back in the country. People are feeling, hey, like it's a little bit safer to visit. So it's just bringing hope to the people of Syria that, hey, like our country can go back to how it was, right?
So if a guy, I'm a Canadian citizen. I'm Lebanese by culture, but I'm a Canadian citizen. If I want to go
I
to
mean,
Syria,
you can go on like a tour, like with a tour guide, like with somebody that will take
like
you
in and out kind
like,
of thing.
No, like you can find like what do you call it? Like a
I gotta pay
like a
someone
tour
off. Just give me the real Naya.
Yeah, you
The
gotta,
podcast viewers want the
you
real.
gotta find a tour guide, and you're gonna have to like sign a thing that you're gonna be just spending time with that tour guide because you're coming on their visa, and then you're supposed to stay with your tour guide, right? But
I go right to Ibrahim.
you can wander around.
You
by
said I could stay at your
yourself.
house. You said that.
Anytime.
Okay.
Anybody that wants to visit Syria, come stay. No, I'm kidding. But like, yes.
I mean, just keep it.
Syrian
keep it.
people are very generous. You're always welcome in our houses.
How the Syria that you grew up in, the Syria you see today? You visit a lot. You go back. You went
I
back.
went back. I've been here for 6 years. I've been back twice already.
Okay, so I know you would love to go more, but obviously logistically, it's a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, it's
but
very
what
far.
is the Syria that you grew up in and the Syria you see today? Is it the same, different?
It is very different because growing up, I mean, maybe because I'm older now, you kind of see the negatives and everything more. Like you're not really looking at the positive. When you're a kid, you only see people happy. You only see people just like doing what they gotta do to get through the day. But when you're an adult, you kind of like realize like, oh, this is harder than
But
it
you're
looks.
comparing it to Canada.
I'm comparing it to how it is now for them. How is Syria now and how
Oh,
it
well,
was. So
I mean, the
before,
internet
like
changed everything, yeah.
before the war, people were just more
Friendly, loose.
like just loose. They're not tense. They're not stressed. There's electricity. There's water. There's food. There's jobs. There's safety.
Before,
you go out in
yani.
the streets.
Before.
Yeah, you go in the streets. It's safe. You're not worried that something is gonna happen. You're not worried. You know, a missile might just hit your house. Like, it was different. It was simple. Now you go back and I see Syria, and it's like, it still has the same places. Like, this is the place I grew up at. This is where I used to go with my friends. Like, it still has all these places, but it doesn't have the same feel to it. It feels like it's like just tired of the war. The people are tired. You don't see people laughing and smiling around the street anymore. People are just hopeless, you know, and it's kind of sad. But like I said, as soon as tourism starts kicking back, embassies start opening, it'll brighten up a little bit, and hopefully things are not as expensive for people because
Inshallah.
yes. I'm sure it's the same thing in Lebanon right now. People are struggling. That's
Wada
been the
ala
Middle
Lebanon.
East. It
That's
sucks.
option.
It sucks that tragedy is so normalized in the Middle East.
Listen,
but
I don't like to talk about politics and religion a lot because those are probably the two things that have divided the Middle
no
East.
two people can get along with these two topics. Like, you put two people together,
Right.
and it's always a sensitive topic. Yeah.
But the reality is that those two things, while they're good and they're great, if you use them the right way, they divide people
Yeah, that
to
is
the
true.
utmost extent.
Yeah, like when I was there, like, but before the war, you wouldn't know like what this person's religion
Yeah,
is.
you don't ask.
Like, you don't ask. Like, my friend in school sitting right next to me, I don't even have like the curiosity to be like, oh, what are you? Like, are you Christian? Are you Muslim? Are you Jewish? Because there is Jews there too.
طبعا.
But now it's so separated. You know, those people live in this area. Those
في
people live,
طائفية.
yeah, suddenly it's just it's all about like religion, and it was never the case.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't be like that. We're all from one country. We all grew up on the same ethics, right?
So take me to 2017 when, I mean, you could say the uprising in the Arab world started 2012, 2011, 2010, through the whole Middle East. But take me through your life, your 2017, you're a teenager, and I guess your family and you decided,
To immigrate to where we're kind of refugees here.
خلاص, it was time.
It was
It was no longer safe.
honestly, we had two options. I was 15 at the time. We started thinking about it 2015. The war started 2011. I'm an only child, so my family was always very worried about me, very stressed. Like, I would have to go to school, but I would kiss my dad goodbye because I don't know if I'm seeing him. Because there's bombing that's happening everywhere. You don't know where it's coming from. So it was very stressful, and for me, it was very normal because I kind of grew up like that. I grew up to like, hey, like there's missiles, there's bombings. But for my family, I'm their only child. It was very hard on them to know that, hey, like, she can't live her life because we're scared. We don't know what may happen. She goes to school, we're worried. She goes out with her friends, we're worried. So everybody at that time was applying to like go with the UN to like Germany, Sweden, Netherlands, Canada. So my dad was like, we have two options. We can either, at the time, I don't know if you've seen in the news, a lot of Syrians were immigrating to Germany in boats. A lot of them didn't make it. A lot of them died. A lot of kids died. But that was the way. I had a lot of friends where they did that and they got to Germany and now they have a completely different life. So my dad's options were he would go to Germany by himself without risking taking me and my mother. He'll start a life there for us and then eventually he'll work on getting us there. Or we could apply to like immigrate through a church to Canada. We had my uncle here, so we just need like a sponsor with the UN and people we have here. And we kind of like studied both options, and we just weren't very comfortable with the idea that my dad would have to go on a boat all the way to Germany by himself. And you hear horror stories that people are just dying and drowning every day, right? So we kind of waited out, and we got accepted to come to Canada. We were the last batch of people to come to Canada from Syria, like 2017, and then Canada closed its doors for Syrians. Yeah, came here through the church, and I guess it was the best decision my parents could have done for me and for them.
You know,
Just a
you
better
mentioned
life.
the boat, and I think about the Titanic sub.
Yeah.
That 5 or 6 billionaires or very
Yeah.
wealthy people go down in the world can't get enough of it.
Freaks out. Yeah,
And
it's
then
all over the news.
in the same week, there was a boat of refugees.
Exactly.
That-
That just drowned Iraqis, Syrians, Lebanese, Palestinians. They just drowned. They're just looking for a better life. But that's the media. Like I said, tragedy is a little bit normalized in the Middle East. It's been like that over the years.
Correct.
Doesn't make it right, but unfortunately, that's kind of.
Why? Shout out Amunabil, supposed to be here tonight. Shout out Amunabil. Why did Amunabil only have one daughter?
Okay. I've always wanted a sibling. I feel like every only child can agree with this.
What's up,
with
Abu
me.
Naya, we call him Abu Naya.
Abu Naya.
Abu Naya.
He was supposed to be Abu Isam. بس no
عشان
Isam.
عمك. لا
جدي.
جدك.
No Isam, so Abu Naya it is.
Supposed to be here with us today, couldn't make it.
He
We
was
love you,
supposed to,
Amunabil.
yes.
We love you.
Love
I
you,
called you. I
Baba.
was aggressive yesterday. I apologize.
And Jana, I love you, Mama. Shout out to
Jana,
Mama.
shout out Jana, shout out Naya. We love you too.
So my parent, I've always wanted like a sibling. Just growing up, I always felt very lonely. But my mom was a teacher. As long as I can remember, like she was teaching maybe since I was 4. And
Superwoman, you told me.
Yeah,
Superwoman.
very, very career focused. She likes to work. She can't be at home. She wants to do something for herself. Very inspiring woman. She still finds time to take care of her family, take care of me, take care of the house. My dad also had a family business with his brothers and my uncle. So they've always been very busy and on the go. They did everything to provide me with a life where I don't feel like I need to ask for something. And I think that's why they wanted to prioritize me, make sure they give me the best life they can than having to, my mom leave work for having another kid and then we struggle financially. So,
Seems like they did a good job with the one and only that.
yes,
they,
I think it was good. It's a lot of pressure on
Be
me
humble.
though.
Be
It's a
humble.
lot of pressure on me.
It's a lot of pressure,
It's a lot of
yeah.
pressure on me. There's no
Yeah.
other child to
Well, let's
call
talk about
all
that.
day.
Let's talk about the Naya. I love Zbodcast. I love podcasts in general because it gives the guest a chance to tell the different side of their life.
Yeah.
People see social
Not
media.
many
They
people
think
know this, yeah.
Not many people know this, and
Yeah.
we're gonna get to your social media
Yeah.
because you're very, very exquisite on your social
thank
media.
you.
You're very out there. You're very. I think I told you you're a different person than your social media.
It's social media. You're gonna show the best of you, the best
Yeah.
of your world.
Yeah.
It's photos. It's yeah. It's
But-
definitely different when you're with somebody like you. When I first met you on social media,
Psycho.
and then but then I met you in real
Where's
life.
my camera?
you're
Full on
even-
fucking psycho.
You're even more psycho. Like it was
Yeah. That's the worst part. You think a
it's
calm guy.
worse. In real life,
Even
it's worse.
more,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you only see me in a certain light. But I'm a calm guy. I'm a cool guy. I'm collected. But I like to think I'm similar to my social media. Sometimes I show my family.
You are. You're very open about it.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
That's
is
pretty
like that.
خبشي.
Not
No
everybody
matter-
is Christo.
Roll the
but-
R. Bravo عليكي, bro. Roll the R. Roll the R. But social media's changed your life, Naya.
It has, yes. Yes, it has opened a lot of doors, a lot of opportunities in different
But you got here. Hold on. You got here in 17.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a new country.
Yeah.
You have no credentials. Your family, your mother, your father, everything was considered zero,
Yeah, we
especially where you
started
come from.
Zero. Like my dad left. Well, our business got shut down during the war, so
Okay.
we had a vodka business.
Can I get that's your Can I get a free bottle of Nabil's vodka? Or no?
Anytime. He'll make it at home for you.
Or Ada? Is it like vodka Ada or what is it?
No, like actual vodka.
Actual vodka.
Like actual vodka. And we
So
had,
he
like,
knows the good
flavored
shit.
Vodka. Yeah, of course. He knows his vodka for sure.
Yeah.
Jiddo too. So we had
Jiddu Islam. Zbod soon.
we had an olive oil business and we had a vodka business. Unfortunately, during the war, just like importing, exporting just kind of all stopped, and the business just wasn't
Everything basically said you
just
khalas,
everything
you have
like
to leave.
like yeah, during the war, just like a lot of businesses shut down because of
Yeah.
it, right? So yeah, basically my dad was at home. My mom was still teaching, but you know, it was like, okay, and what else? Like, what are we gonna do here?
Yeah,
what
yeah.
are you gonna do?
There's no solution. There's no
Yeah,
resolution.
I did not know what I was gonna do with my life
Yeah.
in Syria because I had no opportunities to even look outside of Syria. I had to figure out my life inside of Syria
Or nothing.
or nothing else.
yeah.
Like, I was either gonna become a doctor, a pharmacist, just like every other Arab kid,
Yeah.
or nothing, or get married and have kids. Like, I couldn't aspire, I couldn't dream to be something there.
How many guys want to
unfortunately.
marry you back home?
A lot, yeah. A lot of them. They want to come to Canada. That's why.
They want the passport.
They want the passport. They want the citizenship.
Not for sale. Passport, not for sale.
No. You gotta work for that shit.
But you got here and you kind of had to start fresh, which I commend you
Fresh.
at 17.
I was 17, grew up there. I knew a little bit of English, but
International school?
I was in international school. My mom taught in international school. It's
No
called,
accent.
Shweifat. I don't know if you know.
Of course, Shweifat.
Shweifat. My mom used to be a teacher. Unfortunately, back then we couldn't really afford for me to be in that school. It's a very expensive school. If you know, you know.
Ooh. You know.
But a lot of like she would bring a lot of books home. She would teach me. She was an English teacher, so I had that
International
advantage.
side too.
Yeah, I had that
It
leverage.
was a little bit easier coming to Canada.
It was easier for me because I was able to get into high school, and for somebody that's never been in a country like this in the West, you see like you come to the high school and you're like, oh my god, this looks just like the movies. There's the girls that talk trash about everybody, and there's
cool
the guys,
girls,
and
the
there's the
nerds,
nerds,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's different from where I'm from, so. It did help me a little bit that I knew some English just to get myself around, to be able to make some friends, but
How was that transition though? High school. You came here. You were in grade 9, grade 10.
I was like grade 10. I was about to go into grade 11. And I came here and I was like, everybody told me like, you should come here and you should just continue. Like, it shouldn't be a problem. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Got here. They didn't want to like accept any of the school that I did in Syria.
Oof.
They were like, oh, you did not do secondary school there. I was like, yeah, I did. And they're like, well, you have no proof. I was like, I can't really get you a proof because where I went to was kind of like destroyed throughout the war. I lost records. But I did do secondary school. They made me redo the entire secondary school in 2
Wow.
years. Yeah, I had to do
In 2 years?
In 2 years.
يعني
They made me do
ذكية,
summer school.
شطورة
Yeah,
يعني.
of course, yeah. Not in math, so.
5 times 5.
25? 25?
Something like that.
something like
Google
that.
it. Google it.
But yeah, they made me redo grade 9 to grade 12 in 2 years, did summer school. I had no idea what I was doing. No idea. I had nobody to tell me how high school worked here.
Were you happy? Are you happy? Were you happy? Are you happy? Was Canada the right place to go? Were you struggling? Do you still struggle?
Yeah, it's not easy here. Like, for somebody to come, like, imagine you living somewhere your entire life, having a routine, having a way of thinking, having the same food, meeting the same people, talking the same language, and suddenly that all just changes. And then you're trying to find pieces of that routine here. And every time you try to find a piece, it doesn't feel the same. It's
Yeah.
not the same.
Yeah.
You get, unmotivated. And I think that's a lot of immigrants can agree
Experience
on
that.
that, right? Experience that. And Canada has like a really harsh weather too. It doesn't really help.
Christmas is
you.
Christmas. We have
Christmas
snow.
Is Christmas.
We put ladra at the
Summer.
top of the tree. We do everything.
So yeah, still hard to transition. I'm
Yeah.
still having
It's been
problems.
6 years and you're still.
I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do in school because of it, right? I've always aspired to go into biomedical sciences. That was always something that I was very
Doctora yani.
passionate about. Always wanted it, always liked it. But like I said, I was very confused when I got to high school. I did not know how it worked. I went to college. I did something that I wasn't supposed to just because they told me that that's what you need to get into biomedical sciences. I wasted a lot of money. And by the time that I actually figured out how I need to get to that course, it was like, hey, like you need 4 years of work
late,
for you
yeah.
to like just get in the course. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what? This is just not meant for me. It's
Not to
okay.
me.
I'll find something else to do in life.
So, okay. So
yeah.
it was tough. We all know it was tough for you.
Still
But
tough, yeah.
then you became the queen of social media. What is that? What is that?
I guess.
I remember, you know, we've had a couple pre-podcast meetings, and you told me that your whole following is from here, or
Yeah.
from since you've been here.
Since I've gotten here,
Since
yes,
you've gotten here.
Yes.
How is it taking on that whole network and people messaging you and guys wanting to be with you and girls jealous of you but want to see what you're doing and هالاشياء كلها. You have a big following on social media. You have sponsorships. You do some
Yes, I do.
some collabs
Yes,
with some big companies.
Yeah.
So tell me how that all came about, because people think it comes just because you're beautiful or whatever. It's not how it works. You have to have a certain personality.
You have to have people that actually like are interested in who you are as a person, that interested in the way you put yourself out there. If you're just gonna bring a pretty girl and put a dress on her, like a lot of people are gonna like that.
Yeah.
But there is more to it. There's what you, the causes you support, where you put yourself, how you carry yourself, what you decide to promote on your social media. You support people back. You treat your followers as like, hey, like you are somebody that actually is helping me, because you following me and supporting my business, because that's considered my business, you're actually helping me financially. I want to help you back. What do you want to see? What do you want me to do? I'll do that. I'll make that content. I'll shout out this. I'll do that.
You probably get a lot of
that's-
weird requests. Eh?
Yeah.
Show us the DMs, Naya. Show us the DMs.
Let's go do the DMs. There
We're not,
is-
all you men out there, we're not going to put you on blast yet. Anyway,
But you know who you are.
you know who you are.
Out of my DMs,
Don't be a
please.
creep.
Don't be a creep.
خليك رجال.
I know you're watching this because you're a creep.
Look here. Say it again. Say it again.
I know you're watching this because you're a creep. Stay out of my DMs, buddy.
Listen, it's okay to throw. Hey, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
You have to. Right or wrong?
Yeah.
Do you feel-
Not in the DMs though.
you-
DMs are old.
But
Don't
how,
slide
but
in
how,
DMs.
but how if a man wants you on this podcast, how does he get to you?
You know where I am and you come find me.
Oh,
You're gonna figure out where I am. You're gonna ask like,
only
hey,
him
where
has
is she?
only him has these
The access?
Yeah, the access.
information?
Only him has the access. Do you feel accessible?
Like in what way? Like what do you mean by accessible?
Like if someone wants to reach out to you, can they get to you through your Instagram?
Through my email? Yeah.
It's that
I really-
serious? You're that
honestly,
big now.
No, honestly, I've been doing my Instagram for a very long time. Like, before I come to Canada, I did a lot of modeling back in Syria. I worked with a lot of artists, did a lot of music videos. Since I was 14, I studied it all. I've had a large following in Syria. I came here, I kind of maximized on that. I was like, oh, I'm good at that. I know I like to be in front of the camera. So I maximized on my opportunities. I worked my ass off to do that. Like,
Is there an art to it?
it's not an art, but it is a lot of work to be able, like, you open your Instagram right now, you go on your explore page. What is it that's gonna make you click on somebody's video, on somebody's picture, or like a personality that's gonna be, oh, like that's somebody that's actually interesting, I want to follow them. You know, I don't want people to follow me just for my looks. Like, oh, she's a pretty girl, I'm just gonna follow her. I actually wanted women to follow me more than men, because I wanted to give women something back. I'm like, hey, like I want to give you advice on whatever you need advice on. I want to, just like how I have people on social media that I look up to. There's a lot of women that send me messages and tell me how I inspired them to do something, how I inspired them to get out of bed today and go work out, how I inspired them to go and like go to this wedding because they were feeling a little bit insecure, but they were like, you know, I'm gonna dress up and go. And I've always been very honest. If a girl reaches out to me, she's getting an answer from me.
Yes.
Guys, I know what they want. So, it's rarely.
Most guys are scumbags, eh?
Yeah. But you know what? I love you all. I love you all. You guys
Still
are
send a
great.
follow,
You're still
send a-
supporting.
yeah.
You're still supporting me. I love you. But just don't be a creep. Like if you like, there's a lot of guys that reach out that are actually just genuine. Like like they actually love me for who I am. But there's a lot of them that are creeps. You know.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah,
But those guys give us a bad name.
but I think I am accessible.
Yeah.
Answering your question, I believe I am. If you're reaching out to me, if you're trying to access me in the right manners, right way, of course, accessible.
I feel like you're very career oriented,
Yes.
and you don't want to just be this Instagram model.
Now that has her life figured out and she's on a trip every day. No.
I mean, listen, you get flown out. You get flown out. It is what it is. It's that's the world we live in now. It's different than what even we grew up in when we were teenagers.
It's
and stuff.
hard when you come from a different culture to view things like that, right?
Is that the biggest adaptation? Is
It is so different here. Like Arab women have very high standards. They expect to be treated right. They expect to be with a wealthy man, let's say, with a
We don't-
successful man. But I'm not just going to do that just because you are that. I actually need you to be a decent person that I actually love and care about. And
If
that
you-
is something that is very different here, you know?
yeah, no. Listen, if you're at dinner with a guy and the bill comes and he asks you to split it, what do you say?
I just walk out. I'll just walk out.
Yeah, you get the truth on Zbod, eh?
Of course.
So
if you're a man, no, listen.
قول
Listen.
الكلمة قولي.
If you're a man that is taking a woman out on a dinner or on a date or whatever it is, as a girlfriend, as a date, as a friend, you cannot split the bill with her. You cannot eat. You know what's the best way? Pay the bill before the bill comes.
She even knows. Don't even let her offer.
Don't even, you don't want it to be awkward. You don't want her to offer. Deal with it. Because you're inviting her out. You know how much it takes for a woman to actually go out with a random guy? Like, what if he kidnaps you? It's a lot of courage to actually say yes to a date or go out with a guy. So for you as a gentleman, hey, the least I can do is, take care of this. Thank you for coming. It takes us 4 hours to look like this, so.
We were supposed to film the pod like 4 hours ago, by the way. Naya had to get ready.
Arab time.
Arab time. So this Instagram personality that you've built. في درجة تطلع على القمة يعني, like is there a way that you see that this is gonna be it, or do you see yourself taking this, using it as a stepping stone? And I know you have career aspirations. I want you to tell Zbodcast viewers, tell the world, this forum, Zbodcast, I want people to see you in a different light. When they see you on Instagram and social media.
It's really hard to tell who I am on Instagram because all you see is just my photos.
Trust me, the first time I sat with you, I said, okay, different.
Yeah.
Not like her Instagram at all, كشخصية. And this is the forum for you to tell the people, like, tell me about your goals, your aspirations. You have this personality on Instagram, but I don't think it's you.
No, it is part of me, but it is not me 24/7. Like, it is
Family.
It is 20% of Naya, but it is not
The real Naya.
Naya. Like,
So tell us about the real Naya. Tell that camera and that camera and even mine. Who is the real Naya Ibrahim?
she's still trying to figure that out. But
Episode, season 2, she'll get another episode.
No,
so that-
honestly, I am very family oriented, especially that I am an only child. I am very close to my parents, so I spend most of my time with my parents. I don't have a big circle. I spend a lot of time family, parents, because I always have a fear of losing them because I'm an only child. It's like, oh, I don't have siblings, I don't have cousins. Like, cousins here, I have, shout out Jenny, I love you.
Shout out Jenny, we know and love you. Yeah, who else?
Everybody. Oh my God.
Shout
my
them all
cousins,
out.
There's like 10 of them.
They will be honored to be shouted out on the bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out Jenny, Fadi, Somar, Grace, Asajad, Anna, everybody. I
Shout
love
you all out,
I love you
motherfucker.
all.
Shout you all out, yeah.
They're like my siblings, but just to have an actual sibling, like they're in Syria, I'm here by myself.
Yeah.
Just having the fear of losing my family one day takes over me a little bit. So I try to spend most of my time with my family, working on myself. I work out a lot. I'm always in the gym.
We can tell.
Thank you.
Shout out to Jim.
Always. Shout
to Jim.
out to Good Life.
Shout out Good Life Fitness. We love you 24 hours.
So yeah, I think Instagram is a stepping stone for me. Like you said, it is for me to build an audience, people that are actually interested in me, for me to take on my career of what I want to do, and then be able to take that audience with me and actually like, hey Naya, we love that you actually have something to offer. You have something different. I want to use my platform as, you know, a place for me to grow an audience, keep them with me, support me through my journey, through different careers that I'm going to go through. And also use my social media as a platform to if I have a message that I want to get across, you know. I aspire one day to be big enough where I can change the world's perspective of my country, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
تحيا سوريا.
تحيا سوريا.
تحيا سوريا. سوريا الحبيب. If I gave you 1 million followers today, and you were making enough money to last a lifetime, is that all you want? Is that
No.
would that be enough for you? Or
No, like I said, I have aspirations to actually make a difference somewhere in life.
singing, dancing, acting, this and that, something along those lines?
Yeah, being a public speaker, volunteering. I would love to one day be able, like what Angelina Jolie does. I would love to do that one day, to spend most of my year in Africa and the Middle East and South America helping kids around the world. I want to use my platform for things like that.
العالم راح جن, eh? You know this.
Why? It's
Because-
important. If you're an influencer or a social media figure, I really hope that that's part of your plan, because people are giving you a lot for just doing what you're good at and what you love doing. I really hope that you give back, and it's really important. It is something I aspire to be. So if you be like, hey, like you can be an influencer with 1 million followers and make, you know, so much money and never have to worry about it again. Be like, yeah, that's cool, but that's not what I just want to do. It's like I want those 1 million followers to see that I'm not just that. I can do so much more than that. You know,
Yeah.
like we're making the world a better place here together. You know?
I mean, right now we're just having fun, but I mean,
But,
eventually.
I mean, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
hey, that's why I started the pod. I want to get the true message across, because like people like you who are only seen in a certain light, there needs to be a forum where they can show their true self, and a true conversation like we're having now will allow people to see that out of you.
I hope so.
Is Canada? You moved here. Speak personally on a kind of refugee status, let's call it. Did you acquire your citizenship?
Yeah, I just got it last year. Thank you, fully Canadian. Got it last year. Such
Bravo.
a relief, such a blessing, because now I can see the world and I can travel.
You have to
because
travel. We discussed that. You have to travel.
I have to. My first trip. You guys tell me where I should go first.
Okay, first of all, you got to go to Las
Honestly.
Vegas.
Las Vegas.
You got to go to Las Vegas.
I don't want to
You
go to
have
the States.
No, you have to go to Las
See?
Vegas with him. See.
With him.
See.
Baba, don't believe him.
I'm on a bill. It's not all about gambling and partying. There's
There's class.
في كنايس في وفي
Guys, I don't know what I can say.
there's but حتى even there's so many beautiful places. Let's talk about America. It's our neighbor. Miami, New York,
Yeah,
Las
I think
Vegas.
those are places that you should visit
Kazdura,
at some point. Yeah.
right? حتى Europe. So many beautiful
Yeah.
places.
You guys tell me where I should go first, because I'm looking for recommendations. I think it's time to
Hala,
see
you
the
have
world.
you can go now. You
I can go.
travel.
I have my Canadian passport, and
Yeah.
it's ready to get stamped. Honestly, it's ready. Let's go.
But here's the thing: if I gave you a one-way ticket somewhere, not Syria, where would you go? Where would you go?
One way?
One way.
Dubai. For sure. Yeah.
Dubai.
Emirates. Yeah, Emirates.
Like to work, to live, you would go
To
there.
work, to live, to pursue my career in acting. I do want to act in Arabic TV shows. I think that's where I belong. That kind of audience is the audience that I think I belong to. So I want to go there. I want to maximize on that. Also, my Instagram can do really well there because of all the opportunities, all the brands, all the sponsorships are there. It's just the next big city, you know. It's the
Yeah.
next big place to be if you are career oriented and focused and you want to work on yourself. I would go live there for like 6 years, get to where I want to get, and maybe come back to Canada, go to Syria. But definitely Dubai would be the place for me because it's right in the middle. I can speak my Arabic, still speak the English. Also, I'm close to home. I'm like 2 hours away from Syria, so if I ever need to go see family, it's not 24 hours away.
You think you would
right?
go back ever and live in Syria?
Yes. If now it is good, it's getting better, but if I give it like 5 more years, maybe it'll be just much better. We'll have electricity, we'll have water.
We don't have it بلبنان.
I know, but you guys managed to do it. You have like generators and stuff.
في طاقة شمسية.
Yeah, like you've managed to do that. Syria, because it's just so recent, they're still working on that. You know, some places do, but like, you know, some places don't yet. So if it gets a little better, if it's exposed to the outside world, it's not.
Which is tough, and we don't know if it's gonna happen.
You go in Syria, you're in Syria. You can't get out.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're leaving Syria. Like you don't have, even on the internet, like can't really.
No.
It's very enclosed. So I don't think that's where I would like to be, just career-wise, but.
But like I asked you this a couple times.
Definitely visit often, though. Yeah.
I'm going to Lebanon in 2 weeks. I want to go.
I want to go. Yeah.
Without getting the abuna and getting a marriage on paper. How do I tell them? I'm sure a lot of people want to visit too. Shout out Meherja, my guy.
خدوا على سوريا معك.
خدوني معك. شي حفلة.
أكيد عندك شي حفلة بالوادي بسوريا. خدوا معك.
I think he's there every week. He's there. He does a حفلة.
You can go with him. I'm sure he'll take you.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot easier if you're with somebody, with an artist.
Yeah.
But like I said, get a visa. If you guys need help getting a visa, I know just the person. They'll get you a visa. You'll get in. It's beautiful. It's very cheap. Your money goes it's not like Lebanon. It's very, very cheap. Your money will go.
We can't talk about the dollar, yeah?
They can hear us.
Everyone's gonna see this, so they can't hear us and they will hear us.
يا نايا يوم أجمل قدمي لي وعني لا تزيحي قدمي لي. أوف أوف يا ويلي يا ريت عندي ما يسوى. يا نايا يوم أجمل قدمي لي وعني لا تزيحي قدمي لي. لكم ميلي على موعد لقاكي. لكم على موعد لقاكي. قدمي لي ترجع الشمس عمري من الغياب. الله عليك. العتابة خلت سوريا. أنا أب وأم.
Syria. No,
Syria.
we say the Zajal was born in Lebanon, العتابة خلت بسوريا. But you were on a Syrian interview.
I was on Syrian National
I heard
TV.
I heard you gave me mixed reviews about it.
It was good. I actually enjoyed it. Like it was on Syrian National TV, so it was a big deal for me.
How did that happen? Just
it was it's a show about it's called like it's something about like Instagram, public figures, stuff like that. And in Syria, there's not many people that do the whole influencer model, public figure. So that was a show that just kind of like would bring on talents and all that. And I did that. It was incredible. It was just, they almost sent me home.
why?
Because I was showing my shoulders. There was too much shoulders.
Like it's still old school.
Honestly,
right?
it's national TV. Like
Yeah.
all kinds of people are going to be watching it. So you just want to you want to mind everybody. You want to be respectful of who's watching it. But we managed to make it work. The producer wanted me to wear his coat, which was ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing this interview. Like, I'm walking out. If you're going to make me wear your oversized blazer, and I'm like, I spent hours on myself, that's not happening.
Yeah.
But we managed to make it work.
I think naturally, I don't want to say this, that, whatever, but, at some point in your life, I know you want to get married, you want to have kids, you want to, make Amuna Bil happy, and you want to extend your family. So I know, the men are creeps, but even for women, you said you are a role model to a lot of women.
Yeah,
So
I hope so.
Give some relationship advice for women and for men. I don't want to say, it doesn't have to be personal, but in general, right?
Okay, like who am I to speak? But I do have some experience, but still have a lot to learn. I feel like there's not a certain point in life where you're like, oh, I know everything about relationships. But if you're a girl, don't settle, baby girl. Take your time. I feel like when I was little, I rushed into a lot of relationships just because it was exciting. Like, oh, it's exciting. This guy cares about me. This guy is like, buy me flowers. This guy, whatever. Take your time. Live your life. See what's out there for you. Because you're going to grow every month, every year, and you're going to learn new things about you, new things you want to do. And you don't want a man to restrict you from reaching where you want to be and from aspiring and doing what you want. So just take your time. No rush. Meet people, enjoy, but don't be a whore.
PSA, do not be a whore. Do not be a whore. Naya, Ibrahim, even
Don't
Christo.
be a whore.
Don't be a whore.
Enjoy your life. Just
don't be a whore.
Yeah, keep it halal.
يعني respect yourself.
Respect yourself. You have more to offer than your body. You have more to offer than what you can give the man. You are a person yourself that a man would want you to have because you're going to add something to his life. I feel like it's about time that men don't want just the woman as an accessory. And it's about time they want to view the woman as she is my woman and together we can do anything. You know?
قوية.
I think it's important. I don't think women should just be like, you know, all I need to do is look pretty. It is important, but have something for yourself. Always have something going on for yourself, because if that man is about to leave you because you're just an accessory, you can just take it off and put it aside, what are you going to do with yourself? You know, you want to have things going on for yourself. There's nothing wrong with being able to depend on a man and have a provider to support you. Women want to feel safe with a man like that. They don't want to feel that they have that masculine energy. They want to have the feminine energy. So be comfortable in your masculine energy. Have the provider. It doesn't mean you have to be extremely rich. Just have the mentality that, like, I am here to support my woman and be there for her. And she's going to do the same thing for you, naturally. So just respect women. Don't be hopping around like a bunny from one to one, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Canada and Syria. How does that, شو الفرق بين الاثنين؟
To be honest with you, men are way better here than Syria.
Really?
Because
Y'all got a chance, hey? Y'all from Toronto, y'all got a chance.
Because in Syria, like in the Middle East, men will like go on and fully cheat on you in front of somebody, and you cannot say something.
بس
You cannot say
بالسنة بحق له
anything.
أربعة.
Oh, yeah.
والشيعية بحق له.
So much better here. At least here, if he cheats on you, you can like
Yeah, you
cheat
can go-
back. You know, like
You
you,
can go
do
get
something.
everything. You go get
right?
everything,
You go
yeah.
get revenge,
Yeah, yeah.
but like there, it's just brutal.
Yeah, well, you know the Arab man, how he.
Oh yeah, very controlling. That's
Yeah.
why I really haven't really seen myself being with an Arab man that way.
أنت أصلية.
Yeah, I just feel like I can't be controlled, can't be
Yeah.
tamed.
Yeah.
I need to be able to do what I want to do. I'm an only child. I grew up like that.
Yeah.
You can add to my life, just don't take away from it, right? Yeah.
So what's next? As we enter the final segment of Zbodcast, tell me what's next for you? Immediate future and then long term. You spoke very highly of Dubai. Is that where you see?
Currently, I'm just honestly, this year is for me to work on myself physically, mentally, financially, doing everything I can to just be able to go and explore what's out there for me in Dubai. I do have some opportunities and some gigs lined up for me. Yeah, as soon as I get there, I know I have something to get going for me in my acting career. I also sing. There's a lot of hidden talents people don't know. I also sing. I used to be on The Voice Kids when I was little. I have a very nice voice.
Zalghuta or something? Oh, something?
Yeah, so I want to just see what's out there for me. I want to be closer to the Middle East. So that's going to be my plan for the next year or so.
هلا in Canada now, you got the Instagram, you got the social media, you're monetizing it, which congratulations on that.
Yeah, also have some hustles on the side, and it's
Side
good to have
hustles.
more than just one thing going on for you. And yeah, just honestly just planning ahead for what I want to happen next year. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
We should do a night. I want to.
Everything might change when this goes viral, so.
It may or may not. I want to shout out Sahara Restaurant. Ibrahim, Ahmed, you gave us the forum to do this today. I felt like no better place to do it than an Arab restaurant.
This is the place. If you're Arab, you know this is
You
the
were here
place.
on what, Saturday?
Yeah, I was here
For
like
a
2
bridal
days ago.
shower.
For a bridal shower,
I was
yeah.
here on Saturday, you were here on Sunday. I was here on Saturday. Shout out Ramsey, I love you. Tanya, I love you. Happy birthday. We were here on this table. We had the best time ever. Nothing like a good forum, a good restaurant. Shout out Ibrahim, shout out Ahmed, shout out all you guys. They gave us the tequila, they gave us the food. We have beautiful
The
food.
kibbeh,
The
the
kibbeh,
food.
everything. We're eating in between takes and stuff here. Abu Nakhul is with us. I'm going to give the forum to him now. He's going to do a little Arabic segment with you. We're going to hear about back home and more usly things. But it was a great episode. I think we gave everyone a good insight into you outside of the Instagram, outside of the model and this and that. There's more. There's a lot more. This is.
Don't take Instagram for what you think the person is.
Enjoy it, like it,
Always
send likes, send DMs. We love it.
We love it.
We're about going viral, but
Hit the follow button. You better hit the follow
like
button.
it, subscribe to the pod, and hit the follow. We already did some posts now, but thank you for being here.
Thank you,
I know
Christo.
you were
It's a
nervous,
pleasure.
but from where you were in the beginning till now,
خلاص رواق.
I warmed it up now.
مشي الحال مشي الحال.
We love you all. مسيحي, Muslim, شو ما بدك. Whatever you are, we love you all. The podcast episode 17, part 1, let's call it part 1. is now done. Terry, good job, great job. Naya, again, thank you for coming. Thank you for showing
pleasure.
yourself to the world.
Thank you.
And let's have a couple drinks, cut some food, and then we'll go let Abu Nakhul
يلا.
take
يلا.
over. Love you guys. Thank you.
نورة تلحقها عيون